We are learning NXOpen programming via recording a journal. This one is the sixth video in this video series. So far, we have seen how to record a journal, how to review the generated code, how to find out the code block that we can reuse, create a new journal from that, and also ensure that that new journal works fine and creates a desired geometry. In this video, we will go to the next step and try to clean up the code. So far, till the last video, we have managed to create the associative arc from the code block we copied from generated code via journal recording. This script works very well. Now what we are going to do, now we are going to test it thoroughly and debug it, and at the same time we are going to remove the unwanted code from this journal, because when we create a journal, the journal is programmed, that particular feature is programmed in a way that it takes care of all the actions and all the minor things within that actions. But when it is doing that, it also captures lot of code that may not really be the necessary for your journal. So when we learn to remove that code, when we clean up our code itself, then we able to have a very clean, short, and the and to the point code that works. That is also going to help us know the the code better, know the APIs better. In this case, it is a factory builder that we are using. So that code, that precise and to the point code that works, it will help us know more about the programming in NXOpen. So let's start and do the cleanup part. Here I am going to give you some tips that if you see a mark IDs into your code like this, you are definitely can remove them. Mark ID is definitely a important stuff to have into your program, but not necessarily you must have it. So it is an optional stuff, and you can definitely remove that. Along with that, our journal creates several expressions, because when we deal with some numbers, any value into our action that we record, it usually creates the expression, and we can even avoid using those expressions. It means that we can remove the expressions like this one, expression 1, expression 2, which is used as a system expression into a work part. Now what we can see out of this is that these expressions are not actually a part of associative line builder. They are assigned to a work part, and definitely we are more focused towards creating the line, and we do not want to create so many variables in a work part. So that is not our focus, and because of that we can remove the expressions as well. And there are a lot of other lines we can definitely remove that. But before that, one important tip is that tip number 3 is, if you are trying to clean up your code, I would recommend you do that into Visual Studio, because here it is a very limited functionality with journal editor, and it is difficult to read through, because it is a very plain editor that we have. It makes sense that we clean up this code into Visual Studio. So let's take up this code into Visual Studio itself. Code looks very readable in Visual Studio. Now first I will go and delete all the mark IDs as well as expressions, and I will also delete these lines where try catch is used, and within try catch the expressions are deleted. I don't even need this. So I will also remove this code block. Now you could see earlier the code is more than 150 lines. Now it has reduced to close to 80 lines. But there are some design time errors we could see because of expressions that we have deleted. These errors are within the create point where we can see some variables scalar 4, 5, 6, and same here for the other point where scalar 1, 2, 3 are used, and we do have the design time errors here, so we have to remove those errors as well. But definitely we need to know how we create points manually in order to remove these errors. I have now removed those design time errors. I have kept couple of expressions and I use those expressions into point creation, and that helped me remove those design time errors. Now let's have a look at some other code of lines that can be removed. I am just pointing out the probable code of lines that can be removed. The first could be that here, if you notice, there are several uh, new parameters initiated, for example, origin and x direction and y direction. Again, here, few lines below, the origin is initiated and x direction, y direction. So, definitely, we don't need to have them declared duplicates, so we can definitely remove them. But again, whether we really need that, because when where those are used is this x form. So x form, it represents the smart transformation, and this smart transformation is done, and it is done using this origin and x and y direction. So it really makes sense to find out if this is really needed for us to create the line. If not, then these all also can be removed. Now if we notice here, few lines below, there is the limits and end limit is mentioned, and the end limit, we can see these two lines are exactly duplicates, so we don't really need the duplicates, we can even go and remove this. So all of these common sense, your knowledge of the programming, your knowledge of line creation, your knowledge of some of the APIs related to line creation are definitely going to help you clean up this code further. This is now close to 90 lines of code. After cleanup with different techniques and the knowledge that you have, it can be reduced to a very small piece of code like this. You could see it is the same line builder, associative line builder, and the line here is created with just 2 points, P0 and P1, and uh, only few lines of code. Only the required parameters and required inputs are used, and code around that is built, and then we do have a very clean, simple, readable, and to the point code that anyone can refer as a learner and understand it without confusion. But in order to come to this level where you drill down to the very specific and pinpoint code, there is a lot of learning and lot of understanding is required. But in short, you could see that this is just close to 36, 37 lines of code that we do have created. And not exactly all of that. It is not that, it is only 30 plus lines of code, and this is all is possible. In the next video I will tell you what exactly you need to do to come to a level where you can write the code like this, or you can transform your code from a recorded journal to the code which looks like this. So I will see you in the next video, and I will share all those details with you. Here I am introducing a course called C Sharp Essentials for NXOpen Customization and Programming. Enroll now and unlock the power of customization in NX. Don't miss out.